Hello.
Hello.
It works.
Yeah?
Let me
Let's
swap
hit
it over real quick.
Yeah, let's hit a couple buttons here. Oh hell yeah! All right, so you do have your VTuber. So cool.
My eyes won't open. Why will my eyes open?
Oh yeah, you might have to do some vising work.
I did it. There we go. I don't know my hotkeys still.
Oh wait, what are you using to drive it? What software?
YouTube Studio.
Okay. That's the same one that Koi uses, isn't it?
Very, very, very simple. It's kind of nice. Also, yeah, I have 0 gold. Oh, I have 80, but
yeah. All right. I'm not actually like live here yet. That is so cool. We gotta mess around with the green screen stuff later then, because like it'll be a mess to get it set up, but it'll be so much better when all said and done.
It'll be really neat when it is.
Yeah. Then I can sit there and chew on your head. I'm so excited about like some of the stuff that I've been putting together. I'm really concerned that it's not going to work in other software. Um, so I may have hamstrung myself by making all of my assets in Vroid, but we'll see. We will see.
we'll make it work somehow.
I hope. I hope it's worth it. Let's see.
So neat. I gotta mess around with a little bit of it, but it's neat right now. I like it.
Yeah, you'd be amazed at what you can get from just a day of sitting down and slowing down and letting yourself think. Because I have been really like pushing myself to want to get art done, and then having no drive to do it once I sit down in front of the console. And then finally today, somebody else needed something done. I'm like, all right, fine. And I just jump into Vroid, and I got it done in 10 minutes. I'm like, well, I guess I should keep working.
Might as well go.
Yeah.
You're already in, just keep it going.
Yeah.
What was I? Wait, what did I put myself as? Oh. Okay. What was that?
Oh, right. I need to open my chat. I'm so bad about this. Every time. Hi, everybody. Hi, all the pings. Go to our special 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3 3
my shit earlier.
Hey there, Milky Taro. Hey there, Amicus. Good to see you both.
My dumbass didn't have it so chat messages always stay shown, so they're only up for a certain amount of time. So I was screwing it, had to put more in.
Oh, gotcha.
I just kept doing it over and over again. I was like, ah, fuck it.
Oh,
just put all the 3s in.
Each time. Wait, what is happening here? What is... Oh, I see what's happening here. I messed up my backgrounds in VC Face and cancel the settings. I've been doing too many things in the settings today. Load background image. Ha ha ha. Backgrounds. Green screen. Ha ha. Green screen.
Green screen go burr. Ha ha.
Okay, and then put this over here where it belongs. Oh, that's so cool. Previously, the green screen was like messing up and making my skin transparent underneath the fishnet here. Okay, I have got to adjust the sizes here. This is ridiculous. Where are you? There you are. Oh. Fighting with my own software. My apologies, folks. I have done too many things in one day, and no longer am I sane enough to properly pilot this. I've melted my brain in advance, just for you, just for you. Just like you. Let's see. Put myself over here.
Just do it.
Just do it. Put this over here, put this over here, grab this, put this over here, look at my own stuff. This looks fine. Let me know if my own screen... Wait, I can also... Let's see how much I can upset Firefox real quick. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Firefox...
Stop responding.
Yeah, Firefox picture-in-picture has now created an interesting feedback loop. Uh-oh. Let's not do that. Wow. Oh, that may have actually like broke my my stream. Oh no. Let me refresh that.
We call that RIP.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that only froze on my end. That wasn't actually frozen. That scared me. What a mess. Okay. We'll put Chatterino back, and we'll stop fidgeting with things. Hopefully it won't break again without my assistance, you know? Is this the part where I put a sword on my back? Wait, no, I said not to fidget with things. How do I play this game?
Idea. Let's make things worse.
Looks armored. I have an idea. Embezzles myself. When do I get the dash attack?
I'll only get a dash attack with the ranger.
No! I need dashies. Ooh, big dashies.
You're looking for a strong, big paladin.
No! Paladins should not have dash.
They definitely do.
But they shouldn't.
They run quick in big, heavy armor.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Strong men.
Ah!
Oh, fuck. Item.
What did you do?
The pain. Gotta get you. Oh, hey, secret.
Oh, hey. Delicious.
Oh, hey, reroll for my one item I have. Let's reroll it.
Since I don't have an item, I guess I won't do that.
Damn it. It's worse. How could it do this to me?
That's a red portal. I guess let me go get the one item.
Yeah, that's all there is. It's almost a small floor. I had gold to buy things before we came in.
Is this an encyclopedia? Oh, Book of Enlightenment. Never mind. That's so much better.
Yeah.
Hey there,
I
NK.
re-rolled into an encyclopedia.
How's it going?
And I don't like it. Oh, maybe.
Oh, we have a shop.
There we go.
Already. Sandals of Swiftness.
For all that gold I have.
Yeah. We'll get
I'll
there.
get the great helm. That's all I can afford.
Ah! I slap.
I go this way.
I slap. Ooh, ooh, big slappies.
Slippity slappity, get off my property.
Gourmand. Find anything tasty over there?
No. There is only coin.
Okay.
But Khajiit love coin, so it's fine.
Yes, thank you for collecting it for me.
That's what I'm here for.
To collect my gold.
Call me the loot goblin.
Oh, hey, it's one of these. I hate this thing. That is a very effective way.
Us?
Yeah.
Could that be part of the reason?
That could be part of it. I don't know if that's the entire reason.
I think it might be the entire reason for me.
Found the ore lift, which sounds like Orville. Maybe I just have the munches.
Yeah.
Munch.
Crunch.
The munch and crunch. Ye old munch and crunch.
There is one item down here, and guess what? It is stinky doo-doo.
It is more item than is up here.
True. Wait, I see one to your bottom left.
Wow, delightful. What?
You've been pranked.
Ow.
Wow. Oh, hey, we got gold. We can buy
Wow.
a single item. Bam.
Wow.
Wow.
What button is potion?
The face?
Okay.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Potentially?
Firm buckler. This buckler is stern with
I don't
you.
know, ma'am. I just work here.
All hail our corporate overlord, Jeff Bezos.
Wow, wow! Look at how useful this hallway is.
I know, it's so helpful. It's a
Wow.
load-bearing hallway.
I see that they really think it's going to fall for this trap, and you know what? I just might.
Cowl of Protection, Wizard's Wand, +2 magic damage on primary attack. Physical damage, ignore 10% of enemy's armor. Trigger combo when evading. Oh, that's cool.
Combo is nice. Any combo is nice. It make you go quick.
I spend all monies. I have 6 gold.
I'm rich. I have 44. God, I'm so wealthy.
So much wheel.
Gold.
I forgot your name was.
Is how I call myself, thank you.
It's the word from Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, is that a
hey.
secret? No, it's not. I'm just.
I found the Berserk Beetle.
Go away, beetle. Don't touch me.
Or Burrell.
What?
Mind control. Immune
Oh, I got
confusion.
Miner's Draw.
All other debuffs last 100% longer. I don't want 100% additional poison. That sounds terrible.
It is terrible. I got Miner's Drought, which gives me 100% ore gain for 75% less gold gain, which is totally worth it, because ore is so much better.
Or
Ore.
Or
Speaking of ore. Beetle, go away.
Screedle.
Stop, bad touch.
Speedle.
I'm fine. Ow. Well, this chest had a single ore in it. Don't need to come up here.
This chest has a broadsword.
I like sword. I can fire them with my bow.
Yeah. I like how having a sword makes me
More
pull
ammo.
my bowstring harder.
It's like just shoot bullet harder, just shoot arrow faster, you know?
I love that in Final Fantasy Tactics, having higher dexterity makes you shoot bullet harder.
Just the concept of just shoot bullet harder, I love. Ow. 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 Ow.
Thank you. Thank you for handling
Ow.
all that. Thank
Ow.
you. Oh no.
What?
Well. Oh, I see.
Just just get to the end.
Thank you for the subscription. Okay, I found a safe spot. Good. I'll just hang out here. Okay. There you go.
Now we are one.
We are one. We are but
Is there
many.
is there a drop off on this floor? I want to drop my little bit of stuff that I have.
There's a drink spot. There's no drop off on this floor. We're about to hit the boss floor.
This is next to the boss anyway, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Now watch.
Let's gather your
Observe
party
as I
before
get one
venturing
shot with the
forth.
boss.
Thank you, Nyan Gosling, for the support. Now that I'm able to read that and not get shot by arrows.
Observe. Boss spawn. Haha. Oh.
Ah.
I think this classifies as bullying.
Ah.
Ow.
Ah. Ah.
Ha. Oh. Wow. Okay.
Ah.
No bats.
Heroes Unknown Frying Pan. What is that? What
That's
is
the
button
block
for?
behind you.
How do you check? Oh yeah, but how do you check thing control?
Control. Wow,
Constructs.
magic damage ignores 50% of enemies' resistance. It does nothing for me.
25% chance to block 5 physical damage. Interesting. I didn't even know I had that. Or.
I don't know. I have half my items. I just know that they don't do much for me.
Or.
Wait, is a button up here? No.
Alright, we have to be looking for button.
No.
There's still boxes with or.
No. What's a plant?
Process.
I don't want to do gardening. Go away.
There's cheese and some oranges and a button.
I like the button. I like when I press the thing and it does the stuff. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. You never know.
Uh-huh. I fight so many skeletons.
I love skeletons. You know when we got skeletons everywhere? Sure.
Are you aware that you have a skeleton infestation? Oh, there's a graveyard here.
Oh, that's... Oh, hey, unexpected gift. That could be by you or by me. Who knows? Not
what
me.
does that mean?
There's a little imp that pops out of the wall and he gives us gifts.
Oh, gotcha.
Where is the imp? I don't know. I just work here. He will disappear after a bit.
I didn't.
But I have no idea where he is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the starting area.
Oh,
maybe?
found it. Ah.
Oh,
Imp gave you an item.
Oh, hey, that's a good one. Items are good.
Imp is
They make you strong.
Yeah, it's a pamphlet. So.
Oh. Item didn't make you strong. Item gave... Let me try that again. Imp gave you ore.
Or.
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 Oh, hey, chest. Hey, it's a pamphlet. Wow.
Wow.
Why is it always a pamphlet?
Was there anything up top?
No. There's the graveyard and the skip room.
Okay.
And there was the single item, and then the rest was... Yeah, there's not a whole lot, really. There was some
there is
more.
an item? There is an item here. Good.
Yeah.
Glowing staff. +5 skill power, 1 magical damage on primary attack. Is that... No, it's not part of the disciple stuff. Dang.
See, you sound like you're getting pretty looted. I'm over here with my pamphlets. Why can't I hold all these papers?
I mean, I have a Book of Enlightenment, Great Helm, Firm Buckler, Sandal of Swiftness, Right Boot of Speed. So I'm wearing 3 shoes right now. A Wizard's Wand, a Glowing Staff, a Broadsword, a pamphlet, and a frying pan.
I'm currently wearing 2 helmets, carrying 3 daggers, and I've also got a staff in each hand, and I've got papers attached to me.
Love it.
I love the imagery of that.
Yeah, true Souls fashion there.
Hey, item right here. There's a secret.
Oh, hey. Found angry squad of skeletons.
Not the skeletons.
Stiletto. Very nice.
I also have that. It makes me stab things slightly harder with my arrows from a distance.
I have
love
long
firing
range
them
stab
off my
equipped.
bow.
The darkness is what I attack.
Oh,
Goes
hey.
with and at.
Button.
Something happened. Number 11. Something happened.
I got an item over here, and there's a shop down by you. I like the shop. Where's the battle pass?
Yeah, let me go to the battle pass. Where did you find that?
There's an item down to your left. There's an item. Get in that way. And the shop's over down this way somewhere.
There's an item over here?
It exists.
Oh, there it is. What is that? Pork chop? Oh, vendor coin.
Vendor's coin's good.
It looked like meat.
That's because we use meat as currency. It's a coin.
Ah, polished meat.
Excuse me. I have to take a look at my polished meat. I like that. Yeah.
I solved puzzle. It's silver.
We definitely have silver.
I do not have silver.
Haha, I don't. Oh, I want this blood letter, but I can't afford it. There's other things though. Like the flail, the mana stone, and I can't afford the rest of it. Shit.
I found copper. Damn it.
Trying to get my hopes up.
Yep, usually. Is what good at. No
I have enough
tasting.
to get my third item. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me.
Markham Stone. Plus 2% ore gain. Yes, please.
Ow. 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 Let's go.
I am the wind.
I am the one who shoot arrow.
Ah,
What am I doing? I
I'm the
have
one
full
who
mana.
falls.
Oh, but there's steak.
Oh, hey. I just ran right through those spikes at the exact rate that they opened. Dang, I dead.
Ah, the plants are trying to make me touch grass. I can't do that. They're shooting the grass at me.
I'm dead
No,
on
stop.
spikes.
Oh, God.
There we go. We spectate. We spectate the banana man. We investigate.
What's going through his mind? at this
We
very
judge
moment?
from a distance. From beyond the grave, we stare, we
No.
bark, we awoo.
No.
Yes.
Oh, I dodged. I'm alive.
Good job.
That's a room full of grass.
That is a room full of
Angry-looking
grass.
grass.
Yeah.
Angry looking grass. Wow.
I'm dead.
Oh, hey, I have potions. I forgot about that. Where are you?
Oh.
Oh, I see.
These spikes, yeah.
Alright, get ready to run up.
Yep.
Oh, hey, secret.
Good timing.
Oh, hey, second secret.
Oh, nice.
Alright, RNG. Show me the way.
One.
Oh, okay. Wow, a monster pamphlet. Whoa.
You're so powerful now. I don't know how I'm going to catch up to that.
I'm gonna re-roll my pamphlets.
Ring of Rejuvenation. Yes, please. I've been needing that. Now that I have mana regen, I can just use that to clear rooms for the hell of it.
Ring of Transmutation. Gain 25% mana of health lost. Okay. I can take that. Oh, that's spikes. Alright, I'm gonna go in the angry room of grass. If you suddenly die, it wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so good. Oh, I can just
So
still get
good.
cheesing. Wow.
I got
Wow.
Apothecary's
Is that
Herbs.
an item? I could use a place that has... Wait, have we found the button yet?
No?
Yes, it's right here. Wow.
I have to slowly go over these spikes. Don't mind me. Oh, hey, there's another item over here.
Spikes are the worst.
Lucky Charm. I didn't even read it. I just ate it and kept running.
I have a feeling it might give you luck.
Quite possibly.
just a feeling. Gold fever. More gold. Oh god. Okay.
What's the obelisk?
All right. Time to put the one brain cell into overdrive.
Monolith imbues you with sundering strikes. I don't know what that means. Are we gonna spend some time again? But let me know when it's my turn to go completely wild. Oh, hold on. Oh well. Yeah, redo this one and then it's all pretty now.
Fuck. Thanks, Sand.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna go just loot some stuff. If you don't have that done, then I'll come back.
I want to talk about it.
I figure I'll just let you handle that, and I'll do some other stuff in the meantime. Seems to how like you have all the experience of this game here.
Yeah, that definitely makes me good. Wow, I turned all the lights off. That's impressive in its own right, I guess.
Now just do the opposite of that, and you got it. Oh hey, I found one of those bosses. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so good.
Did you get it?
No.
Here, while I'm at it, I should switch. There we go. Now I can watch you struggle from afar. Well, you'll be happy to know that there's nothing of use anywhere else on the map. This is the last useful thing to do, so...
I'm very useful, as you can clearly tell. I know exactly what I'm doing. This is all for show. 100%.
Yeah. Would you like me to try?
You know what?
Okay.
I'm gonna go for a walk.
Yeah. Have a nice walk, hon.
One sec.
Got it.
Okay, let's go to the next floor.
Yeah.
Wow, isn't the boss already?
That
it feels like it's only been a floor. So all my time doing one thing.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, it's this fellow. Lovely. I sure do like this one.
Just shoot big boss man with arrow. We win. GG. No re.
I'm getting hurt a lot.
Oh, we're laying still. Oh no. Ow, 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 ow!
Don't forget about your potions.
what potions? No issues at all.
Apothecary's mortar and pestle? Greater ring of
That's what I got.
rejuvenation.
Wait, we get
Dang.
Oh, you got the ring.
Yeah. I actually could have used the apothecary thing. 1% chance to refill a potion charge when killing an enemy would be awesome. 10% gold gain.
So you need 4 of
Plus
the apothecary
10%.
items. I've only got the 1. It's so useful for me. You know, it really is a place where we get the water that gives us the stuff to put in the potion.
Mm-hmm.
We need the sippy juice. Where's the sippy juice at?
Bark?
Strikes. Wow.
Bark? Vigorous restoration. I'm so vigorous right now.
Wish I got that one.
Puppylicious vigorous.
Ow. My health bar. It went down.
What am I listening to here? Hold up. I just realized.
Sound?
No, not that. It got to actual like vocals in the music that I'm listening to, and I don't want that. That's how copyright flags happen. Hi. I was alt-tabbed.
You got friends coming your way. They don't seem very friendly though. So you heal so much because of that fucking blessing you got.
Wow, I really do. That's really nice.
Yeah, you heal like a lot. Oh no. Bad. Well,
At some point, I need to do some like party gameplay with you for Realm of the Mad God, especially after like all this.
Yeah. Almost died.
Ooh.
Wow, is this a trap? With a bronze key that I don't have? Let me just activate that real quick.
I have a bronze key. Hi.
I don't like this spot that I'm in. Okay, there we go. Hey, you got a bronze key. Got a chest open.
There's another bronze key. I won't pick this one up so that you can have one. Or.
Ooh. Oh, and that's a lot of ghosties.
It's a lot of little dudes with axes that I'm fighting here. What is going on?
What's going on?
And I said, hey, yeah.
Classic. Silver key,
A bomb showed up, okay? I was
Bum
busy.
go boom.
Popko awu.
The world go round. Oh, is that
Same
piece?
as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Oh yeah, if you find a silver key, there's another silver chest in this place.
Yeah, there's a silver chest up here too.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm being chased by skeletons
not
again.
good item. Awesome. I got a gold key though.
Oh,
Doesn't
nice.
mean not good, but I got a gold key. That's a lot of squallies.
Squall.
Oh, squalls. Words gonna get shorter and shorter. It's gonna be skull. Well, skulls.
Skeletons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? I saw all the ghosts. I don't want the ghosts. The ghosts hurt when they hit me. Who would have thought?
Sequence completed.
Sequence.
Where's the thing?
Of the sequence is complete. I don't like this fire.
You said there was a bronze chest thing?
Yeah, there's an item to your right.
Okay.
And that is, well, it, because we don't have any other keys.
Damn it! Alright. 2 silver chests, no keys. Love it. Where's Eglin?
Let's go.
3,300 gold. Just waiting to be dropped on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, hey, speaking of dropping on the floor, there's a merchant over here. Ah, rapid blows. Go away. Oh, look how fast I shoot.
Endless potential.
Spin.
Spin to win.
Wow. Or.
Eat ot.
Oh, you got a lot of friends now.
Uh-huh.
A lot of ghosts. Oh, there's a lot of arrows. Oh, that's a lot of arrows. I'll go to the shop. It's nice and safe at the shop.
Uh-huh.
I can buy items at the shop.
Things are kind of dangerous where I am right now.
Oh, spherical. Hey, I got a sphere. I love a sphere.
Endless potential.
Look at Drake, it's so spherical.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I shoot so quick. I go fast. I get hit by everything. But I live. Because I am just the better gamer.
Uh-huh.
Hey, I got...
That is how it
okay,
works.
I got
I
a
nearly
sphere.
just died.
Oh, I'm spherical. That means I almost died.
So where's that shop?
To the right of where we came in.
Okay. I'm just gonna
You've
ignore
got
my...
friends chasing you, by the way. They're coming for
Yeah.
you. The ghosties are flying. They don't want you to buy items.
I noticed. Okay. Shaftlock pickaxe. Yes.
You got a lot of ore gain, probably.
Uh-huh. 10% chance to disarm enemy or 6% chance to evade all incoming attacks.
I don't know. Also, those both sound kind of nice. I'd probably go with the disarm.
I went with the evasion because it combos with something else that I already had.
Oh, you have okay. Evasion items. Evasion is a good way to go.
Yep. More.
I'm getting spheres. Or.
Or. You okay, hun?
Am I ever?
No. Not usually, no.
Ah, bleed me! I have been bled. I have, what do I get? Increased resistance. Wow!
Ow.
Okay, there we go. Woo!
Any food nearby?
Oh, is that a gold chest? Oh, it's this one. Run away!
Okay.
There's a... I don't want to touch grass. Why do they have so much health? No, 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 no. Stay over there while you can die. You. I have gold key for a gold chest. Give me gold reward. Oh, I like this one.
Blue. Plus 5 magic damage and primary attack. Also applies freezing. Yes.
I got Cape of the Flamewalker.
Nice.
I love this item. It does AoE fire damage when I walk near things.
Ooh. What's this? Okay, this is a thing. What is this thing? Will you offer 10% of your maximum
you
health
bleed
to
your max
receive
HP. And then you get something maybe good,
Blood
potentially.
Right of the Beast? Where do I see that? Effects.
Control and effects.
Increase to attack power. Nice.
That's actually pretty good for a ranger. That is the floor. We have completed the floor.
Yay! We did it.
Now to complete the next floor.
I guess I'll drop off my ore. Wait, no, I gotta go shopping.
Oh yeah, that's important. Maybe do that.
I'm gonna break the rest of these chests to grab loot for said shopping then. Somebody hasn't been doing that.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it wasn't you.
I would never do such a thing.
Well, I don't have enough money anyways. Wait, no, I can't buy another thing. That's what it is.
Oh, you've already bought it.
Oh, wait, there's another item up here that I don't have? What the heck? There's barrels everywhere over here.
I've been down here the whole time by the door.
Which one?
Yeah.
25 magical damage to the attacker when hit and releases a nova of poison darts. What the heck did I just pick up? I'm now Scaploti.
That's kind of neat. Boom boomer.
Oh, wait, ore drop. Ore. 20 ore. I just dropped 1397. For a second I thought it was 1337. Hey there, Philson. Oh, have a good day at work. Sorry, I didn't catch your chat. Whoa, hi. Thing.
That was ghost. Spook.
Ow! Ow!
Bad. The touches are bad. Ooh, what's this? Is this one thing you use? Oh, you use ore to craft an item. You got blueprints for it? I don't have any ore.
Spheres of Power, Lesser Combo Nova. Yep. Oh, I just dropped off my ore! Ah!
Same.
Ore. Well, I just got 4. 4.
4.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Ooh. Oh, this item's so hog. Everything burns.
So we now have fire and ice between the two of us. That's awesome.
Burn.
What's this? Cloth, lavender, common. What? What's this cloth?
I think that's a color, like character color. Cosmetic.
Oh, I can be purple now. Nice. What the heck?
Those if you walk past, you see those arrows. If you walk over them like this.
I got very lucky running through just now.
Yeah. Another silver chest for that silver key we definitely don't have.
Firebolt. I'm on fire. Lighting myself on fire is actually kind of cool because it repeatedly fires poison bolts.
But your health doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, my health doesn't like it either. Who would have thought?
I do now have enough ore to be able to craft a thing, so I'm gonna go do that.
Ooh, a bronze key. Oh, is that more ore?
Ore.
For me, couldn't be.
20 ore, that's enough for me to make 2 things. Oh, you can only make 1 thing. Okay.
Go away, Mr. Skelly Man Boss. Oh, this is so great with combo.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
That
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
those aren't words I like to hear.
We need to
No,
get
our souls are
unsouling.
intertwined like this.
Yeah, we gotta get unsouling. This is also a good time for me to refresh your page because it is glitching out. Something fierce.
Oh no. Oh. Oh. Round and round I go. Where I'll stop, nobody knows.
Oh, I made a choice. I made a choice and it was bad. Hey, I found the potion thing.
I need that.
Oh no!
Oh. You need that too.
Okay, well, killed by a lich.
Hey, see, now we have coin.
We do have
We can use
coin.
coin to get item. Expand floor, safe corridors, enemy reinforcements, and elite reinforcements.
That's 500 gold
Yeah.
for me. Wallet of stuff right now says Smith Borrow.
Can I?
Greaves of the Barbarian.
No.
Attune this item
need
to double its effect. Ooh.
Let's get the chapel level 2.
Ah!
Now we can get a new blessing. If we have the because she has coin. I do have coin. Increase your health regen, physical damage, ignore 20% of armor. %20 of armor. And let's get ore gain for gold gain. Yes. Way. And then I buy item. I reroll again. I reroll a third time. I reroll a fourth time.
What are you
I
doing?
reroll a fifth time. I want ore gain. Yes, pickaxe.
I need 20,000 to do the next blessing.
Awesome. I got keys. I got items. It's good.
You got keys and items?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
I am not ready to go. I have to relearn how to play this, so...
Fair. Casting skill rangers buff last 2 seconds. Movement speed and evasion. Yeah, I'll take that. Sounds pretty good. What do I need to upgrade next? Town hall. Town hall. Yeah, I need town hall next. I need a lot more ore.
Triggers combo when drinking your potion.
It's not bad.
Lesser
But we don't
sphere
have
of
any
time.
potion
Time to
charges.
maintain combo is increased.
I like that. I like sphere. They're very spherical.
Sphere of life. During combo, you gain health regen. Gloves of warding provides passive block. Markham. And chainmail and spell piercing. Nah.
What am I at for ore gain before we even go in? I have 250% ore gain. Massive.
Oh. Oh. This. And I guess this. Okay. This will be an interesting run with this setup. What else can I do over here? All out of stuff for this one.
How do I use my other abilities again? How do I use my other abilities?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, it's 1 and 2.
What? It's Q for me.
I should probably have it on Q. It should be on Q and E. I don't know why it's on that. He's not even bound to anything. Yeah. It should be Q and you should be E.
I lost 1,000 gold because I decided to do a stupid. Alright, let's go.
Okay. Let's go get the gold back.
Mm-hmm.
Baby.
Gold back, baby.
Coin.
This baby's back with gold. Wow, that is a useless hallway.
Yeah, what do you mean? It's trying its best.
What the heck?
Curious
case.
Oh god, oh jeez. Ooh, drops a bomb when evaded. Ah!
Time to go read what I got after I kill everything in this room. Okay.
Gotta go fast. Quickly.
Character. Curious case. 10 health and mana, 6 attack and skill, 4 armor and
Curious case
resistance.
is good.
What a nice item, yeah.
It's just a little bit of everything.
Buffet. We snacking.
Our keys.
Defender's Halberd. Disarm enemies for 2 seconds. I guess
like
that comes
that. I
into
like
play
disarm.
against the skeletons.
Yeah, because they like to slap your shit. And I don't like it. It hurt. Oh hey, another bronze key. Refresh my keys. Give me some more of that.
So refreshing.
Oh, there's more to go over here. If I don't walk into the wall.
Yeah, I keep doing that.
Pew! 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 Can I just mod the game files so every time it shoots the bow, it's just a sound of me going, ah! Every time the bow arrow shoots.
I don't think I can stream with that. Sphere of Time. Time to maintain combo is increased by 1 second.
So spherical.
A box has been opened. Do you want to do a boss rush? No, we
What
just
is
started
this?
with all these items. What mods did you put on the level anyways?
Bigger floors and more enemies.
Okay, so definitely not skipping.
Yeah, we do the floors and get the items. We get the loot.
Mm-hmm.
Get the loot.
And extra EXP. You just gather your
Yeah.
party before venturing forth.
Let's spin and key for me.
How nice. I just realized all these traps are off. Why are all these traps off?
I put safe corridors, so there's no traps.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
there's still traps at the chests, but there's no like hallway traps.
Okay,
It's
that's handy.
so nice.
It is. I'm glad I threw 500 cold at that.
Oh, that room has so many enemies. Ripe for the picking. Ripe for the setter. Get him. Coin. Coin. Coin.
Wow. I'm being bitten by bugs.
Ah, grass! I don't want to touch it!
How is this not considered a trap?
Wow. I'm here. To run away from you. Ooh, no. Bad touch. Bad. Ah. Ow. Oh no, you didn't. Oh shit.
Wow, that is a lot of bugs. There's a lot of bugs. Wow.
We call that more experience.
I am facing an artillery barrage here, though.
Oh, that's a few. Oh, that's a few. that's a couple bugs.
Glad you understand now.
Oh, keep your poison spit away from me. Hey, is that a shop for all the gold that I don't have? Because I have like 25% gold gain?
A pull lever. We get Curios box. Nice. With those two powers combined. Yeah. Huh. I need 3 to get the plus to everything else bonus. Okay.
That's a nice bonus.
Oh, another Markham.
Hello, Koi. Hello, hello.
Hey, Koi. Hope you're having a good day.
Let's go.
Oh, there's another item. No, there's another item still.
Oh, I already got. Oh wait, there's a hallway we haven't been down. It's down this way. How can I not see it? It better be a dead end, I swear.
Boots of speed.
It's a dead end.
Nice. How's your day going, Koi? Hopefully better than that.
I was just saying my name.
Oh, okay.
My name is. You violate the law.
Oh yeah, my combo now shoots magic missile.
And around you in a circle.
Nope.
Circa? Circle?
Still correct, but
my speech was just like, nah, not today.
Not today.
Please leave me alone, bats.
Ow. This beetle keeps summoning more beetles. Hunter's Lodge too.
I lead a stall. Hello.
Cold but decent. Alright. You gonna bake more bread now that it's cold?
So quick. Go fast. Gotta eat ass. I'm run fast.
Oh.
Up. Pew, 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 pew.
Still have half the load left. Loaf left.
I'm not the only one.
You should make a bread bowl out of that. And have some really good soup to go with it, since it's cold. I need to refill my potion bottle.
Okay.
That's the wrong room.
Hey, you know what? You tried. Oh, sleepy.
No.
That's what happens when you're in the heat all day.
True. Yeah, work seems to be kicking your butt lately.
It's so hot outside. It's not. That's it. I do not do good in summer.
Yeah.
I am definitely a fall winter person.
Assassin's Dagger. Chance to score primary hit. Critical hit, primary attack. Wow.
Wait, what did I get? I got the Assassin's Dagger
Slice
as well.
Thinking of doing another lift, removing the insides, doing some... I did not read that correct. Okay, feta.
What's going through your mind there?
That's not what's going through my mind, it's what's going through the autocorrect there.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Doing something.
That wasn't through my mind.
Also a good option. So, you know, that works too. What is this a room filled with grass? I'm gonna touch it. I lied. The Brunsky. Wow! Wow! Encyclopedia! Oh my god!
Blood dagger, 10% chance to gain 2.5% of current health back. I'm holding like 5 knives. Bad autocorrect. Bad.
I'm holding I'm holding 3 pieces of paper right now. I'm just have them out in front of me. I'm just slapping all the enemies with them.
I have an axe and 2 knives.
Oh yeah, we're looking for a button. I forgot about that. Sometimes you just gotta like concentrate on not dying while we're sprinting through rooms like that.
Found the button. It was behind some vines.
Wow, what a useful corridor this is.
Gold fever. 100% gold gain. Nice.
Hey, oh, it's the reroll.
Firm buff.
Don't want.
There's an item down here.
I like items.
Gotta get up
You
for your
50%.
stream.
You deal 50% damage when affected by debuffs.
Have a good stream, Koi.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Ow! now, Amicus.
You piqued my attention.
Aberrations. I actually have a really good equipment setup right now.
I'm liking mine, except for the fact that I'm holding the 4 pieces of paper, I think, now.
I got a sphere of life. Oh, jeez!
You walked on that corner at the worst time. Ooh, hell hey.
Capable withdrawal. Getting hit triggers movement speed bonus. Nice.
That's actually kind of nice.
Alright, potions full.
Yeah, that is it. That is all. Did someone say Fuda?
Freaking gremlin. This is who I choose to stream with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like all these small hallways with lots of archers. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm the archer in the small hallway, not them.
Small way.
Small. My small ways.
There's a shop in here.
Koi, the stream's already tainted. I'm here.
Sorry to have tainted the stream.
I'm gonna need a hand. I have bad memory. This one's memory.
Memory.
Okay, so how this one works is you hit the button, and it's gonna show the order from left to right, and you gotta hit the ones on the spot.
Okay, hold on. Oh. What?
I think I got this. Alright, these two. Oh, fuck. Damn it! I missed one. We don't give us a key? Why did you I feel grieved. Why didn't you give us a chest or something?
I mean, there's
I feel cheated.
Aww. Ow.
Oh, hey, there's a brown chest. Bronze.
Brown. This chest is so brown. I'm being chased by 4 skeletons.
They're just trying to reach you, but your car's extended warranty.
Okay.
I love when I can shoot quick. It feels great. Arrows go burr. Numbers go burr. I go burr. I don't like this room. There's a lot of artillery in here. Oh, hey, grass.
The grassiest.
Oh.
Wizard's wand.
I see ore.
I see beetles.
Ore.
Or.
Ore.
Or.
Hit the door.
Or.
Grab the ore.
Get the door. Grab the ore. Did you find the button down there?
Not gonna lie, didn't even look.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go back to look. And guess what? It was there.
Something happened. Number 11.
Oh, that's our bad touch. Pew, 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 pew.
Your attackies so fast.
I know, it's great.
Green's the barbarian.
Pew 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 pew. What? Where am I? Oh, there's more stuff up there.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be chasing you.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Found a big diamond.
No item? Oh, there's a chest. Oh, there's a bronze chest up here.
Well.
You run so quick.
It's not like I have the key.
I got
Ooh.
block.
Green item. Apothecary's
Okay, I see a
flask.
store.
+1
I like
potion
store.
charge.
Ooh, I like that.
I just need to remember to use it.
There's one fountain blessing. I don't think we can get it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's one that like, uses your potion on like a fatal hit.
Oh, nice. That's so much better.
Which sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Key ring. I like the key ring, but that would be all of my gold. So I'm not going to get it.
Spear
I
of
want to get
mana.
the other stuff.
Meal of Thorns. Amulet of Resistance.
drop
Steady
everything.
Greaves. Glowing Staff.
Oh, I've got so much ore. Is that my second sphere? That's my first sphere. I need more spheres. Here.
Yeah, I should look at that. I have 3 spheres.
I'm
25...
holding a lot of weapons.
Oh, I get Combo Nova soon. Interesting.
See, 1, 2, 3, 4 melee weapons and a shield. So I have each weapon in between all of my fingers on one hand while I hold the shield in the other.
I'm gonna drop my loot.
Just
see,
the picture of that is the...
was there anything else on the map? I think that's it.
No, that's really it.
Cool.
4.
4.
I haven't seen any secrets yet, or I'm just blind. I'm just blind.
I've opened one. And like once they're open, then it just looks like a hallway.
Yeah. Ooh, no, touch bad. Oh, there's grass in here. There's a lot of things in here.
Whoa! Hi! Hello! There's things in here. Wow! 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 What was it? I was watching something else, and it was the actual source audio of the wow noise.
I actually have no idea. My favorite one's still the Owen Wilson. Just wow.
Ow. Fairly decent damage
That
reduction.
room was horrifying. Oh, there's an item up here that dropped off the boss. Oh. Owen Wilson's wow. Oh, do I? I didn't like that.
Baton.
Oh, batons. Oh, there's a chest up here with a key for the chest. Why'd I buy keys? It's gonna keep on giving me keys. Didn't give us any keys last run.
Amulet of Resistance. Very nice. I want to say...
Oh, shite. Oh, shite. Oh.
Wow, I can see the swarm.
Oh, ah.
Oh, jeez. Just took 3 javelins to the face for you.
Oh, this room's worse. Oh, this room's worse.
You just dove into it. Why are there so many of those?
Ow, fuck.
I forgot to tag all my stuff 18 plus because of you.
I have the mark of the sailor.
No, HXH. It was Leorio's duel. Owen Wilson's well. It was. Oh, it was. Yeah, right. It was.
Wow.
It was Hunter x Hunter. Was the source of the WoW.
Oh.
Wow.
I think that is it. What was this floor? Wow. It's the fun boss that we all love.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad I have extra potions.
Get him. Get him. Oh, don't touch me.
I completely forgot that standing still means additional attack speed.
Yeah, it's very nice because they just kind of shred them.
Cloak of Many Pockets. Plus 50% additional gold gain.
Can I hold these pockets?
Ah!
Whoa.
Somebody told me I dropped my shoes when I was at the Ren Fair. Prisoner with the big blue twin tail takes her hood off, and it's wow.
Oh no.
Oh, blessing. Greater insight. Get attacked by everything while doing it.
Worth.
What? I've taken so much damage.
I have been getting so lucky with my 6% evasions. I keep evading stuff. Fuck, at this rate, I should go buy a lotto ticket. Jesus. You know, I have all these silver keys and gold keys. Where are the chests?
We've been opening chests like every level. We've actually needed them.
No silver ones this time.
Yeah, true.
I got a bunch of silver keys, and last time we had like 4 silver chests at this point.
Oh yeah.
This is just a big fuck you. It's like, oh, you bought keys? Here, how about no chests for you? Incredible strength. Oh, my autos hit for like 150 apiece.
Nice.
Oh, 100 apiece, and I crit for 150 to 300.
Very nice.
Wow, if I hit tab and look at that room in the top right, there's a lot of red in there, and I don't like that. Or. I'm so glad these fire traps are all. Oh no.
You did this. You did this. You did this.
I do a lot of things. Most of them questionable.
I just got hit really hard there.
Ah, who am I kidding? All of them questionable.
I question you. I question you. I question you. You are being interrogated.
So where's that food bread I was promised?
I guess it's a Saturday thing.
Oh, no, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I don't like that.
I don't know what I was bled with.
Bleed me. Oh, it's resistance again.
Mana
room was
regen.
fun.
Oh wow, that's a room. You're going in, okay.
Just gotta spin faster than they can shoot, and it's all fine.
Well, better.
You're a monster. Eat me. Oh, why did it pop in my head?
Have you played? Well, speaking. Somebody was watching a custom Unity engine programmer make a Shrek
You've already sold me.
wave defense game. Like, I don't know, but whoa.
I want this.
It was bad. It was bad. It would have definitely changed gaming if it had come out in like 2004.
If it's bad, now I definitely want it.
I have like 1 health. 9 health. Okay.
Ow. You know what? I don't like
No
that. There's a
food.
lot of things that are
Still no
happening, and
food. Ah, there's some food. Good, good. Some diamonds. An apple. A fish.
I think that's actually everything.
A fish going
Oh,
live.
there's a chest up here still. That we gotta do the trap for. But that means I'm gonna go sacrifice myself for this bronze chest.
Woo!
Sacrifice.
Snacrifice. Now, a Snacrifice run in this would be hilarious. I would love to have that as a mode. Glor. Well.
I am dead.
I'm watching the pattern.
No, get the next one. Understandable, just go to the next floor. That is garbage for me anyways.
Alright. Oh, half tax. That was 7,000 gold, just got turned into 3,500. Ugh.
I need to upgrade the tax so we have less tax. Whoa, all this is like wacky.
Runs off.
Oh. What happened? Oh, gargoyle. And I almost died like instantly. Would have been kind of hog. Not really. I have ore I want to drop off. Wow, more silver keys for all these silver chests we've been getting. Oh my god. Whoa! Ghost, you can't just run me like that. I'm gonna go, I'm just gonna stay over here. You do you. I don't have any potions.
Oh, I have potions. I forgot.
That must be nice.
There we go. Got that one handled. Found an orange. Some delicious
I like
healing.
orange. I like healing.
Looks like the
Especially 'cause I have
show.
24 health.
Looks like the show to popularize the sound effect in the West was Fairy Tale, but apparently it originated in a game called. No way, Parodius? Oh, I'm gonna have to. Oh, I can't play Parodius on stream, but I can play Gradius. I can play Gradius and talk about Parodius. Well, the problem with Parodius is that like it makes some direct references to like things that they couldn't get away with in the production of Gradius. And so that includes like the spider bot monster that's in nearly every game being replaced by like a can girl who moans whenever you shoot her, and her weak point is where you would imagine.
Nice. Classy.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Like I said, the things they couldn't get away with when making the original Gradius.
Call that a work of art.
Art, yeah. Degenerate art.
Skeletons.
Uh-huh.
Hentai is art. What?
Hentai is art. I agree with that, but like
Not stream safe.
time and place.
No
yeah.
way.
Time and place. Yeah, if ever there is a streaming platform where I'm not going to get completely just demolished for doing it, I'll happily show that stuff off.
You do your thing. I'm going to stand over here and just hold left click, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Break.
Mm-hmm. And go team. That combo damage is nice.
Oh, isn't combo just so much fun?
Not all art should exist, but hentai is indisputably art. Yeah, I agree, Amicus.
My health is looking a little low.
I've been living off of combo regeneration this whole time.
I've been
Oh, I
can't
just
call
got
this living.
crunched.
I'm just kind of chilling over here, you know, having a good time. What's going on in this neck of the woods?
I killed so many skeletons just now.
I'm just gonna try and cheese skellies from a distance. That's all I can do.
Delicious skeleton cheese.
First it was moon cheese, now it's skeleton cheese. Where are we? Oh, I leveled up. I have full health again. Oh, I'm
Hey.
huge. Oh, hey, would you look at that?
The timing.
Would you look at that?
That. Grab a brush, a little, put a little. Grab a brush and put a little. Shake a little. Stick it up. How'd you describe the shape? How'd you describe the shape?
I can't with that. I can't do that.
Doing it while
No,
playing
I'll clear
this
my phone.
is definitely a completely different skill set.
All my whole two brain cells are focused on not dying right now. I can't put them anywhere else. See, look at me. Look how hard I'm working over here by holding left click. See, look at how much I'm helping.
I definitely didn't just drink 2 potions by slamming my
Oh,
face
great
into
threat.
a wall of enemies.
Hey, there's gonna be a lot of ghosts coming from somewhere, by the way.
Uh-huh. Oh, hey. Oh, hey!
There we go. They found you.
They found me. I had 1
12
potion
keys
left.
remained unused.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of keys. Oh, I hit. Oh, fuck. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, okay. And the ranger.
Let me just go through all that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I will invite you. I'm pretty sure. I hope I made this private. Probably is. It's fine. Cool. I have ore. I have like no gold.
Ore.
Ore. Open the door.
Ore. I want to show off my new model and I can't. Not time yet.
What do I upgrade? What do I upgrade? You know what? I think apothecary and treasury. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with. So less tax.
Okay, good. I just got enough gold to buy second blessing.
Oh, nice.
Blessing of mind or blessing of light?
Safe corridors. Let's do plentiful gifts and bigger bottle and see what happens. That would cost 300,000 gold. Now,
Why
if I put
can't
on all
I-
these,
Oh, I see.
we don't need imps. Cool. Okay, there we go. This will be interesting.
Okay, so you bought apothecary, you said?
Yes.
Alright, and there's a thing here that I can... Sphere of life.
Spherical. Oh, so many more potion charges. Okay, I'm gonna save the rest of my gold for items because I need items. Symbol of zeal. When killing an enemy, you have a 10% chance to drop a symbol on the ground. Ooh, I like that one. Talisman of Decay. Okay, I can't really buy any keys, unfortunately.
Buying one of
I have a
each.
single bronze key.
Alright, I'm down to 336 on gold. I didn't even look at the apothecary yet. Yeah, I'll have to get to these some other time.
I have
that
13
sucks.
gold.
I have 336 gold, but I bought items. You must gather your party
seems like
before
a-
venturing forth.
This seems like a troll pit, of a fool's errand. 100% gold gain, but health regen is set to 0.
I am going to go over here to my games. This button. Nope, that's not it.
Yeah, okay, let's do ore.
Uh,
Okay, I am ready. I put. Oh,
I am going to be right back.
okay.
Because we've been doing
I
this for
can
a minute.
see.
Yeah. Also, I need to change my music because it's going to get me in trouble here. As much as I'm enjoying this.
Fair.
We'll do
Messages.
this instead. Alright. Alright, folks, I'll be back in just a couple minutes here. Gonna refill my water and use the restroom. I recommend that you folks stretch your legs if you haven't yet. See you back in about 5 minutes.
I'm also going to do that. That's a good idea. I will also be right back.
Love it. Connection lost. Okay, well. Yeah, I guess that went well. Let's see.
Yeah.
Give me just a moment. I gotta put myself back in place too. Let's see. Shift tab. There we go. Play game. Sandwife the Ranger. What is happening over there?
We don't talk about it. It's fine.
Let's see. I don't want that actually any bigger. I do want, however, my model to stop clipping through the top of things. Hey, lady. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Okay, and then I go over here. So I made sweet potatoes and risotto for dinner, and I just snagged a bowl of leftovers. That's amazing.
That sounds pretty good.
Okay, I'm back. Oh no, all the equipment we just bought is gone, isn't it?
Mine's still here. I don't know about yours.
Oh, wait, what? What? I have a serrated scimitar. I did not buy that, but I'll take it.
Oh, it's just hot. Oh, it's hot. Oh.
Should I wait a sec?
Oh, we're good. I'm just gonna die, but I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, it's so hot sauce.
What are you eating?
Leftover burrito.
Nice.
Oh, that's fucking pain. It's not. I was given this part of leftover burrito because it was really extremely hot, and oh yeah, there's pain in my mouth, and that is exactly what I like. When the I know the hot sauce is good, but it makes me cry.
Have you done any of like the
You just disconnected.
Oh, okay. Cool. I guess I'll go steal some ore. Yeah, it looks like... Am I 100% disconnected? What happened here?
So
oh yeah, all the enemies stopped moving. They're just turning into red blobs when I kill them.
Floor. Let's see if I can find any ore. Ore.
Well, I'm gonna sit back and enjoy some sweet potatoes, I guess.
Try and recoup my losses. Oh, that's...
Just gonna open up
Anything?
whatever I can, steal some diamonds along the way. Actually, I could probably like single player this. This will count as a death. Well, press use to spectate. Press fire to spectate next player. Yeah, that is absolutely disconnected.
Yeah, it just said you left, so he's fucked. When I find a drop off, I'm just gonna scooter ankle myself when I find the drop off.
I'm gonna divine wind
lost.
myself.
There is no drop off there. I run this way.
Just watching the squad of enemies.
That's fine. That's fine. Oh yeah, shop, just what I need.
Connection lost. Oh, there we go.
Where is a drop? There's no drop off on this floor. Okay, next floor. Stop touching me.
Alright, fine. Single player for now, I guess. I'll just hang out.
There's a drop off. There is a drop off. I found one. I ran right past it while I was panicking with all the things shooting at me. Now get me. End me. End my suffering.
All 160 gold.
It's the ore. The ore is what matters. I can sell it for gold. Died from a maggot.
You visited 2 floors. You used all of your potions.
I am a gamer. I can get a couple items off that. That, I mean, I'm gonna get these. And then that and that. Cool.
Okay, I did not save my item. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, this clears speed like that.
Ah, plus 20% experience or magic missile. Ooh, magic missile.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to choose. Hmm?
Huh?
Huh?
Where am I?
Slim Shady.
Livery one, please stand up.
A sword. You got chainmail, I got a sword. With our powers combined, we are one equipped adventurer.
We just don't have any pants or boots. You know, who needs those where we're going?
I got a bow and a dream.
Your bow conveniently shoots swords now.
And that's how it is in the original Gauntlet.
Imagine like the fucking upper body strength you'd need to shoot a sword out of a bow.
I'm sitting here doing the math in my head right now.
Hint, it's probably a lot.
It is less than you think.
Oh, I see a brown chest.
Well, I don't have a brown key, so I'll let Brown get it.
I got one. Ow. Ooh, I like that. Ignores 20% of armor.
Construct Monster Manual. Well, I'll get some extra experience off that boss, I guess.
Yes. Or.
Or.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Found a shop.
I require more minerals.
15% chance to gain 1 health when killing an enemy. Also, I found an item.
I like item.
Me too.
I like when item is useful. They aren't always. Because sometimes you get monster pamphlets. Ooh, more attack power. I'll take that. Me like that. Oh, where the fuck did that bug come from? Just walked out up to me and took a nice chunk out of my butt. Oh, there's a sphere? So spherical!
Mathematical! Vendor coin.
I should bought the vendor coin. I like vendor coin. Ooh, oh, boots! Boots. Settles the swiftness! Oh, I didn't turn off traps. Oh well.
It's alright. I just
We'll
walked
live.
right through that and ignored it.
Ow. Ow. What?
Itadakimasu.
Diamond.
Ah, great party. What's
Yeah,
this thing over
there's-
here? What is
It's
this thing I
just
missed?
Just a beetle. What'd you miss?
Cocktail? And a
Oh,
shop.
drink. Drink good.
Groovy Ghost. Minus attack power, plus 2 evasion.
Oh, Brio's so good, but it burns. So good. It burns so good.
Don't I already have the gladiator's net? No, that was the previous one that died. Got it. Okay. Anything else? No? we go. Bum 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 ba 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 da ba bum. Bum 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 ba 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 bum. I actually really liked Diddy Kong Racing. It was a good game.
Yeah.
I think it played better than Mario Kart.
Ooh, hey, craftable.
Sturdy belt.
Hey. Oh, wow.
Spiked boots. Colliding with enemies
are...
immune to slippery surfaces.
Those are quite nice. You get the boots of the giant, where you do like lots of damage. You walk into enemies, it just combos so well. You just run through things and they die. Oh, it's my favorite corridor. It has arrows and nothing else in it.
Ah, so you can just ignore it.
I can admire it. the beautiful craftsmanship. The person who thought this trap was gonna get somebody.
Ah, potion shop. Ow. Oh, did I just find a pickaxe? I did.
I want that.
There's a potion refilling pond.
Ooh, I come.
Spike flail.
Oh,
nice.
2 items.
More item. Is anything south?
Gladiator's net.
Nope.
There's some big floors.
Mm-hmm. I'm digging it. Also, thank you for adjusting the taxation. That is so much better.
Yeah. Oh, is this a? Oh, it's Apothecary. You know what? I'll take that. I was hoping it was gonna be like a Markham's purse, something like that.
Oh, I need to refill my potion. Wrong way. Damn it.
Another 40 ore and I can adjust the tax one more time. Oh, it's fab. Wow. Thank you. Wow. Oi. What's up, Fab?
Fab? Oh, hey, it's Fab.
Do I drop this? Yeah. You know what? I have like 13 gold at town. I need this.
That's sad.
I have
And
earned
true.
this. Oh, fucker. That was that was really quick.
Is that the second aberrations manual I picked up? Oh, constructs. Okay. Yeah, I now have a 20% to each of those.
Why can't I hold all this paper? Alright, we gotta find the button.
Found a hole in the ceiling.
That's not exactly what we're looking for. But good
chest.
job.
It has an axe.
Chest.
Disarm enemies for 2 seconds when hit. So now I disarm on attack and when struck.
Oh, that's quite nice. I want some good items. Oh, I need to upgrade the store because we can buy more items at the start of the round. I'm so fast. Nice. Holy shit! Look at me go!
Gotta find that button. As it.
Button.
Runs back.
Grab it all.
Chest. Or.
Come on, be an item. Be an item.
Sphere.
20% experience? Yeah.
Book of Enlightenment. Nice. I got
Ooh, I see
sphere.
ore.
Oh, hey. I see a bunch of gold. I've been sitting here looking at the map and like scanning for items and completely ignoring all the gold I'm running past.
We don't need that where we're going. We're going all the way to the end. This is the run. This is the run.
Oh, it's this again.
You know what? I'm gonna. You know. All right. You know what? Okay. Show off. I'm going to the stairs. I'm gonna go cry at the stairs right now. It'll be over my corner.
Oh, that was perfect. That was perfect. Just 2 steps. 2 steps. Nothing any better.
Can't imagine the pain that I'm going through. My day is ruined.
I'm sorry.
Let's go explore. Really do me dirty like that, huh?
Hey, I mean, the puzzle was like already almost solved.
Ooh. Oh hey, it's it's
pretty
this
close
one up here. Yeah, got it wrong the first one, of course. What about this one? Yep, got it wrong again. What about this one? Yep, got it wrong again.
I've made choices. I've made choices. I've made choices. Oh no.
Yeah, I'll be up here doing my own thing. No, oh fuck! Oh shit! I'm alive. It's fine. That one, that one. Did it! Oh, I got bronze key. Okay, game. All right, just.
I just used a potion. I didn't even mean to. I found some plants. This grass is here to touch me.
I don't want to touch grass. I think I do. Go outside. Funny joke.
Who do you think I am? From Colorado? Got a box. Apothecary's herbs.
Cool. I have extra potion charge now. Nice.
Nice. I'm opening so many boxes right now.
I love loot crates. There is a item on the very far right of the map. Yeah.
Oh, an orb for me. Sphere of Warriors. Kill requirement is reduced by 2. My combo is now even easier to get.
Oh, combo is so nice. Yo, was that a combo orb? Speaking of combo. Spherical. Do I have any? Is that my first one? Oh, that's my third one. Oh, yeah. Oh, I do more damage in combo. Wow.
Wow. Apothecary satchel.
Ooh, paint.
Lucky charm.
Scourge.
Chance to stun. 25% chance to block magic damage. Oh, I'm not ready to go. I'm sorry.
Oh, you got a shop still. Yeah, you buy your item. In fact, you buy 3 items.
If I can get the 4th piece to the apothecary set, that would be pretty powerful.
How many do you have?
I have 2 already.
Oh, same.
And then the 3rd one's available in the shop right now.
1% chance is really high when you think about how many enemies we kill in like a single floor.
Yeah. We're gonna do blackjack and apothecary, and that's... I have 18 gold left. That was exactly... Apparently the game wanted me to get that too. I gotta go drop off 11 ore.
I'm taking the risk. I've got 6 ore on me.
You get the risk of rain.
Going all the way.
I have 4 charges to my apothecary satchel. Wood,
Same.
bumblebee, common. Bumblebee wood? What is bumblebee wood?
Huh? What?
I picked up a thing that said, would Bumblebee common?
Oh, I don't know. It's Bumblebee's color maybe, probably. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. That's very handy and
it's a color
very informative.
That exists in this game.
Bumblebee is a color.
Yeah. Do I know a color? No. But it's a color. Ooh, green.
Pan of frying.
Spiked boots. Collide with enemies. It comes from bumblebee trees. Thank you. Thank you for the insight.
Nomz, you were killing me with ignoring all of the jars full of gold.
I would never. I am innocent, and I would never skip over coin. Now I got your attention. So, where's that Fuda bread I heard about?
Oh, hey, a key. I acquire.
We need those.
Mm-hmm.
Right now? I don't know, but... Oh, that hurt.
What hit you?
I stood next to the big maggot, and he did the big thing that hurt with the green. Oh, I can do this, totally.
Thank you for doing that puzzle.
I fucked it up already. Wait.
Oh no!
Wait, no, it's this one. Fuck! Ah!
Excellent work. The Banana Man strikes again.
I would never fuck that up.
Is that the whole level?
Obviously not me.
Is that the whole level?
That one felt very small. Yeah, that one didn't feel like much.
I'm gonna refill my potions.
Now I'll drop it. Alright, let's see how fast we can tenderize this man.
Tenderize some pork.
Big pig. Ow, don't touch me. Ow. 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 Oh, that hurt. Oh, bad touch.
Ow.
If I just don't move, they can't hit me. That's how it works. Oh, they hit me. What is this? Oh, key ring.
Apothecary Spear. Triggers combo when you drink your potion. Wait, is that the last apothecary? I have all four. I have all four.
That's kind of massive. I
yes.
got key ring, so let me pick up keys. I have a 50% chance to get an extra key.
Nice. This will be interesting. Obelisk.
If we can make it through here, that would be good.
Sundering Strikes.
This is like my least favorite. Well, oh, Endless Potential!
Nice. Tear it up.
Speed! Look at me go! Look at me go! Oh, you can't catch me. Can't catch me.
So much gold.
I'm so fast.
So much loot.
I'll just be clearing the map. I guess.
Do your thing. You got it. I'm gonna keep looking for the button.
So quick. There are stragglers. I'm just clearing the masses.
Jeez.
Oh, this is so good. A combo. It's so much more damage. My finger, I'm doing so much right clicking, it's starting to hurt.
Oh no!
Must click faster.
There was a game I was playing for a while that like I actually had to limit how much I was playing because it was beginning to hurt my hands. Hollow Knight, oh Celeste, that was what it was.
Celeste, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Oh, you want to see me fuck up another trap and get myself killed? I do.
Okay. I guess I'll just...
Ow. Wait. Oh. I get it.
Huh?
I'm just the smartest.
Game out and game. Personal fave. It is very difficult. I struggle.
That hurt. Wow, all that for a fucking piece of paper.
Also, to be honest, so far in my playthrough of the game, I have not really felt the game outness of it yet. Like, yeah, it had the feels and like you should call your mom kind of thing, but I guess I'm not very far into it yet.
Okay, there's that item at the top of the map, and I think that is everything. How long do I have endless potential for? Do I still have it? I still have it for a little bit. All right. Let's go.
Found a secret. Box. Amulet of Resistance. The Banana Man is in full force.
Let's go.
Oh no, oh no, it has hit the music that I have to change it from. Ghosts go away. Okay, cool, I have just enough time. Change. Good. Works.
So
yes.
quick.
Oh god. I only just now noticed that the announcer guy says continue.
Continue.
+2 experience gain, -2 movement speed.
You say +2 experience gain?
+2 experience gain. Monolith imbues you with rapid blows. I so rapid now.
Gotta go fast. Gotta speed up. I don't like the look of this. Okay. Oh, come on. Oh, that was close. Hey, there's a blue item up here. And it's skill power. Oh, fuck. This one's not good for me.
What did I find here? Lead. Blood Rite of the Fae.
Oh, there's so many items. There's so much stuff.
Increase to resist.
Protective powers. I got some drank up here. +8 evasion, 8% evasion, and -15 attack power. That is not worth it for me.
Where did you find that? Oh, up here. Okay.
That was the item. Yeah, I kind of
Duelist Edge +8 evasion. When evading an attack, you return 50% physical damage to the attacker and apply bleeding. Wow, that is a hell of an item. Trickster's Ensemble blue.
What are the Chosen? What's the Chosen give me?
Brother
Skill
loves
power.
it because
I
it
have
helps him
so
explain
much
how
skill
it
power.
feels to overcome a panic attack. Oh. That's sweet.
Mm-hmm. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, this potion refill? Yes.
Sort of
Also,
coming
wait,
to terms of being trans. Aww.
Have we had a shopkeeper on this?
I don't know.
section of the game yet?
I turned in my money.
I'm
So there's a
gonna
DLC where you
risk
find
it.
out that Madeline is. Oh. I really do need to like play more of that. I'm just not as good at the extreme platforming side of it when I'm usually doing that game as like a spool down from other gaming. So I'm already tired by the time I get to it in most cases. Okay, is that the shopkeep?
I see a shopkeep on the right.
I should not have turned in the money. Oh well.
I mean, we got a whole floor to loot still.
Yeah. Wow, that is a lot of enemies. Hello.
Okay. Oh, I can get a monster manual.
So handy.
Wow, I love the monster manual.
Actually,
No. You got me.
I was going for a completely different direction of joke. Oh, wow, that hurt.
Oh.
Or.
I don't have endless potential. My potential feels pretty doesn't feel that great when it's not endless. I feel very limited. I call it limited potential. I'll see myself out now.
Limited power. Do it.
Fear me and my limited power.
Oh, this is a bad decision. This is a very bad decision to come in here. Here we go. Mini boss. I stunned the mini boss. Nice.
I really want to get more combo orbs just because you get the mana regen, the health regen. It's all so good.
Yeah. Oh, why is there a chest on a corner over here? What the hell?
I would look, but I am.
I'll let you figure it out later. Yeah.
In a pickle. Not a good kind of pickle. Oh, I completely missed a room down there. I need to go back.
On a gold key. Or.
Ooh. Chest over. Oh. There is a what we can't get it yet because you can upgrade the fountain. But it's called Glass Walks, and there's like secret areas you can get to with it, like that chest.
Okay, I see.
It comes more into play on like the late floors. There's a couple here and
there.
Yeah,
you're expected to have that, and it's a hint towards it later. Yeah. Game design.
I don't really level the fountain right away, just because, well, there's just other things that are better right now.
Yeah.
Like blacksmith upgrades, or apothecary, or I want the general store. So I can get better items and more items to start with.
Endless potential.
Did you do this? Oh, you didn't. Wait, do you have bronze key?
I have a bronze key.
Okay, I will do. Okay, yeah, I will do this trap. Oh, fuck. Okay.
So much gold just sitting around over here.
Okay, so that goes like that. Oh, fuck me. Okay, this isn't. Wait, how the fuck? Okay, there's a chest right here you can open. My mind couldn't comprehend the spikes going backwards, so I just got hit by it.
Aww.
Though I have a lot of armor apparently, because it didn't really do any damage. Oh, you're shopping? Wait, is there any items in like the bottom half of the map? Oh, there's that chest in the middle of nowhere. Is there anything else? No. No, there's not. Okay. And normally there's like gold chests and stuff out in those walks. It's just unlucky that it's a bronze one, but it doesn't matter because we can't get it anyways.
How's it going, Ganja Waifu? Mana regen, ring of recovery. Nice.
That is the floor. Wait, do you say you have endless potential?
I got endless potential.
Let's get to that boss so you can
Wait a sec. Is this a... Hold on a sec. Hey, I just found a secret.
Oh, shit. Is there an item there?
Yeah. Dropping in on your last break at work. We are playing Heroes of Hammerwatch, which is kind of like the original Gauntlet. But multiplayer and online. Also, now that I know that those exist, we're gonna have to keep an eye out for those, because like I had no idea that there was a type of tapestry that hid stuff.
Get a little hole. Yeah. I'm really bad for this one. Okay, yeah, boss time. I got 18 ore. So if we do this, we have gotten to the I think with the floor after this is as far as we got last time. We killed this boss. Remember, you hit the statues, but hitting them is more damage. Ow. Also, last time we were here, I think we had 0 potions, and I have full potions this time.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, it really does. If I just stand here, hit this, I'll win eventually. The one that scares me is the blade one. That's what actually scares me. It does so much damage.
Wow.
Oh, it felt so easy.
Yay! Where's the loot?
Go through the portal.
Okay.
It is right here. Yeah.
Staff of Volatile Casting. 10% chance to get a crit hit with skills.
Oh, endless potential.
That's one depressing painting, it says.
Skills just is not good for us. Because we just have spin, really.
It just says that's one depressing painting.
Yeah, it's just depressing painting.
Huh. Right.
It's just flavor text. So we have gotten here.
We've never been here before. This seems fun.
Oh. Oh. So big hint. Those towers are scary, and they will reverse your controls. If they hit you like this.
My
Fuck.
My phone is going
And also
off.
the little orbs go boom when they die. So they will let you on fire if you stand in them when they go boom.
Oh, delightful.
Yeah, it's great. You know when you do the thing where you just run through and sprint and spin? Yeah, if you do that through a whole horde of them, they'll just like one-shot you. Oh, that was potion. So the portals are the equivalent of like the like little trap rooms get chests. They are. You know, they can be worth it, but they're usually like absolutely horrid traps to try and go through. Most of them reverse your controls.
Found the button. Found a summoning ritual, chapter 1, Withering Decay.
Okay,
Also,
so we have to find 4 of those.
Everything in this is also still on theme with the original game, since we were talking about that before too.
Oh, is it actually?
Yeah.
Oh, Elven Bow, 20 attack power.
Hey there, Darby.
Huge.
How's it going? Hope everybody's day is going okay. You good?
Almost had bad.
You almost had bad?
Find good.
Oh, okay. Should I head over to wherever you are?
No, now I'm good. I got out of the trap. The trap is on fire. Yeah. Wait, what'd you die to?
I got stuck in a bullet hell wave. That one took me out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Today is
this is my least
157th
favorite
best
floor.
day of the year. Why is it the 157th best day of the year, Jarvie? That's a very specific number. How did you come to this calculation? I would like to know.
Could it be the 157th day of the year? I have no idea where you died really far away from me.
No.
Am I? No, like 30 meters. Oh, that's not too far.
Right over by you, actually.
Oh, exit's right here. Yeah, I hate this floor. I usually just like skip all the traps and just try and get out.
Well, don't resurrect me just yet.
Yeah, let me just
That's what killed me. That was what killed me.
Yeah, these enemies suck.
They do.
That's all I can really say. They suck. They hurt. They all let you on fire. And fire's bad. Did you know that?
I didn't even get a chance to burn. They just took me out. It's a day. I'm good to come back when you are.
I'm just walking through all this shit around here. Yeah, no, these are the floors where you just gotta take it slow, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna use a potion just keep myself full because shit hurts a lot.
There's a mini portal over here, or is that the exit?
Okay, so that will bring you into a trap, and there's a very good chance that trap's gonna fucking hurt.
Okay.
Cause you see that trap, and if you hit tab one down at the bottom, that's a very easy one that it brought me to. Be very careful, by the way.
That's
unless
a curio.
Unless you just want to go to the next floor, which I'm completely down for too.
But it's a curio.
I almost died to this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I used 2 potion charges to not die.
But it's a curio.
You just grab the books and go floor.
Hold on.
If you have a potion charge, do it. I believe.
I have 2 potion charges.
Easy part is this is the easy part. This is the shitty part because of fire. Yeah, see, that's the easy one. It's just this part. See?
Oh. I see. I see. Well, sorry about that.
No, it's good. There's only one way to learn.
Yeah,
oh, you
unfortunately.
Left. Oh, you hit the...
Oh, no!
I think you hit the return to menu thing.
Today is the 208th day of the year. How am I still only level 11?
I'm only like level 14, I think. Leveling gets very slow. I start at like 10 plus. Oh yeah, remember you got drinks.
I might be about to fail a loading check here.
I upgrade the town. I'm pretty sure a very bad time for you.
Looks like it.
That is my bad. Because I saw you joined as I clicked it, and what went through my head was just.
Oh no. Yeah.
Hey, here,
Let's try that again.
We'll get you back in here. Oh, you just closed it? Yeah, that's fair.
I had to.
Oh, it was just screwed.
It was totally locked.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah, that was just me upgrading as you loaded in and just kind of crashed your game. Whoopsie. Oh, stinky. Oh no.
Invigorating spices. The spiciest potion. I love the idea of like flavoring your potion. Throw some babe juice in there. Oh, please don't put K2 in my potions.
Okay, let's go for the skips this time. Spice. I want to shake and not stirred.
Increases amount of health, amount of mana, number of charges, effectiveness of health pickups.
Bigger bottle and enemy reinforcements. And that's movement speed with elite reinforcements. Okay. Wait.
15% chance to gain 1 health when killing an enemy. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna. We got this. I'm gonna put some nice safe stuff on for us. You want to toss like if you can, you toss like 500 in the fountain.
Yeah, I got 1400. So.
Here, let me before you toss anything in, I just want to see how much I'm gonna need. So I've got 1800. So gentle traps, so 50% less. That we want movement speed. We want plentiful. No, we want bigger bottle. And we're gonna put enemy and elite. We need 2500. I put 1000 in. Just need 500. It should be enough. Oh, I can put 500 in. Oh, I got it. We're good.
Oh, okay.
There. Okay. Yeah. I got items. Let's do some of these skips. I drank some drinks.
All
so
right.
I can do extra.
I'm intrigued. You have my attention.
I have 52 attack.
52 attack? What's
Yeah.
mine? 27.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I buffed the shit out of myself. So we should be able just to kind of like burst down the portal. Let's just get the
Whatever loot's here. Like ore.
Or I got is an item in the top left,
Okay, cool.
and that. So
I'm having some connectivity problems. This is so not cool. Yeah.
That's no good.
It's wild because I'm like watching the rest of my stream is doing fine.
But
Hammerwatch is like, nope.
For some reason. Oh, he just teleported.
Same. Yeah.
Oh, hey, see, look, for some reason we're running into more of these now. Yeah, both those go nowhere.
Delightful.
You grab that item that's on the left. Let's go that way, and then come over here. We shall do the skip. Honestly, we'll probably destroy this first one.
Sandals of Swiftness. Delightful.
Yeah, I have negative 19 armor because of my attack damage buffs.
No.
I take extra damage from attacks. Alright.
Lotta. Flail.
Ooh, Hero's Case.
Magic Missile. Full Plate. Sphere of Mana. Buddha
I love
Speed.
another monster manual.
Additional Sphere of Mana? Wait a sec.
Ooh, we got spheres.
1.5 mana regen plus 3 mana regen, so I now have 4.5 mana regen plus Combo Nova plus damage in combo plus healing in combo. Nice.
Look at if you have 10 combo items, combo prevents lethal damage.
You will not die while you're comboing.
You just will not die ever if you just keep killing things. We'll clear the floor and then we'll go skip. It's gonna skip hurt. If you notice, we have more potion charges.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's also one of the fountain things, is it gives you 2 more potion charges for this run. It's actually quite nice. I just stand right here. They'll never see me. They'll never find out. They'll never know.
Spin
you know
to win.
what? I see it. I'm gonna leave it. You know, you can go to the bottom left. I believe in you. I don't believe in me.
Mana Stone.
You are so fast. Look at you go. There's a puzzle at the bottom left that is, I'm leaving it all for you because I have 0 confidence in myself.
Okay.
You know exactly which one it is.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna go fucking embarrass myself on that again.
Look, like, I got lucky the last 2 times with that.
You know what? 3rd time's a charm, so you do it again. I'm gonna go find the button. Because I didn't see it. I like myself a button. Of course it's in this corner. Something happened. So what do we, how many items do we got? Should go items? No? It's a number. How much crit chance do I have? Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I did it, all me.
I was just kind of fidgeting a little bit. What do we got here? Ring of Health, plus to regen. I have so many flavors of regen going on.
So much regen. I have all the damage and you have all the regen. Also, you run so fast. Oh, it's gonna explode. It's explode. Oh, 20 attack
Markham.
power. I have so much
Fear
attack
of
power.
Life, Hero's Frying Pan,
Scepter of
Boots of the
Kings.
Giant, Assassin's Dagger, Pamphlet Beast, Cloak of Many Pockets, Robe of the Archmagi.
I've got 78 attack power and 71 skill power.
I have the tier 2 combo Nova now.
Oh, nice. Somehow I've gotten no Nova or combos. I have a single one out of all my items. So sad.
I'm just getting your favorite build right now.
I know you really are. So I think from here on we should just normally
Do normal,
go through.
yeah.
Yeah, because this one sucks to do. Because it's all those little fucking orb guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that. We'll get there when we get there. I just hit so hard. Boom, 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 boom. Come and get me. Yeah.
Oh, hey, a secret. What do we got? The guy that lets you trade things. Pamphlet, go away.
Yeah, every pamphlet gets out of the inventory immediately.
Everything else I have is pretty cool. Reroll. Fancy plume.
see
Vendors
down here.
now have more items in shops. Very nice.
Ooh, that's nice. All the vendor items are just so good. I got a secret down here with a bronze chest, and it's a scroll of magic missiles. Hey, that's my second scroll.
Nice.
Oh, there's a drink over here too. Negative 10% damage taken, but you lose movement speed. Oh, that's worth it. There's a craft over here if you have ore, which I do not.
I have 2.
Ore.
Ore. Snake blood.
Stop moving! Stop moving!
Blackjack. Ore drop. Bunch of gold
it's
on
one
the
of
ground.
these.
What's up here? Ah, another portal.
I don't have a, I do
Gotcha.
not have a silver key.
I do.
Oh. Oh. Wow. I'm actually quite glad. Because I didn't have enough to buy any more keys. I had one bronze key. Careful when you walk down here. It's that dumb trap thing. That shoots the spikes when you walk past them.
Duelist's Edge, plus to the Trickster's Ensemble.
Summons a spiritual guardian when you are below 66% health. 12
Huh.
second cooldown. Interesting. I don't think I've seen that before. I don't think I remember.
That sounds handy.
Yeah, when I get like slapped really hard and it's gonna drop a dude.
Drop a
Drop a
dude.
deuce. It's gonna drop a dude out of the sky. That'll be great. Oh, it's another one of those chests in the beyond that we cannot get to, or can we? Oh, okay. You run fast. This is probably better for you. You are just super quick. Just right click once, and then you should just speed. Actually, yeah, actually that worked out really well. that worked out really well. Okay, that was. Oh, I didn't do the trade. I didn't trade in my pamphlets yet.
I'm gonna go drop off 6,000 gold.
Probably a good idea.
I didn't have enough ore to go make a thing with it, so. Today, 208th day of the year.
Judgment. Plus 12 physical damage on primary attack. Every 7th primary attack, you disconnected.
No!
Oh no.
I'm just sitting here. I'm looking at my inventory. What the hell?
Oh no, this was such a good run too. Fuck. The game just doesn't want us to have a good run.
It really doesn't.
Let me just grab a couple ore.
I am
sprint.
So glad that I just dropped that gold.
Yeah, that's very lucky. Oh my god, I might just be in the corner.
Oh wow. Time to rack up that experience. Use your potions.
Yeah, I'm trying to grab any and all ore I can see, and I'm going to find the drop off and then just die. Oh hey, take that. Woo boy. Ah! Fight the last man! Let's...
Holy cow!
Ah!
All right, killed by skeleton warrior. Use all your potions. Very nice. Very nice.
That was kind of horrifying.
It's a bummer. I was really enjoying that build. I had so many cool items.
Here, let's do just a regular run. I've got a bunch of keys. I've got some good items. I got some ore items. Let's do general traps, save corridors, added floors, and bigger bottle.
Do you need some coins from me?
Potentially.
Here's 500.
Perfect. Then I will put another 500 in, and then we have enough. Yeah, okay, that's good. That is good. This is good.
Another sphere of light.
I'm just going to take a quick piece. We're back.
Yeah, do your thing. Ooh, this is a really good build. Sphere of Life, Gladiator's Net, Slippery Cloak, and Broadsword. We are snagging that. This is a 37 attack power.
Agent Dark, mission log, 10:28 hours. Against my better judgment, I'm about to enter Area 51. This time, it's not just my life on the line.
I am back.
Buff increases movement speed and grants evasion for 3.5 seconds. Now we're gonna do bow shot. I got a really nice like starter build with the items that it threw at me. Gladiator's
nice.
Net, Slippery Cloak, Sphere of Life, Lesser Sphere of Life, and Broadsword.
That's pretty good. I got the Markham Stone, which is the only thing of note out of my build, but I have 208% ore gain already.
Jeez.
And it's going to keep scaling with each item I get. Which will be really nice.
You lose.
You know what?
Minus
I got
4
1,000
movement
gold.
speed.
And guess what? I have no gold.
So what's... Alright, can we do the Path of Sorrow? What are these other ones?
I mean,
We have other
those
routes?
are DLC.
Oh, gotcha. So since you're the
Actually,
host...
wait, I wonder, can we just...
Okay.
Huh.
Huh.
Okay. I would very much recommend we don't do this right now, because it is... The DLC are like exponentially harder than the main game.
Mm-hmm.
And once we get all of our like town upgraded and all our buffs, then it becomes well, it's still really hard, but it's a lot more doable.
Okay. Oh, hold on.
Hey, if you have ore, you can craft an item and you can attune them with
We've come upon an exploit, it turns out. You can normally only craft one thing at a time, but if you leave the map and come back, i.e. go up the Path of Sorrow and come back, you can then craft another item.
Do you have the item in your inventory still?
Yes, I have the Lesser Sphere of Life right now, and I can make another right now. I could start with combo 10. I could start with combo 10.
Wait, can you actually just make that and it'll put it in your inventory? Try it.
Oh, no!
It didn't work.
It's not letting me. It's not letting me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's highlighted though.
Exploit. That would have been really nasty if it could have worked though. All right, let's go for an actual run. Phew. Because I've got all the ore gain. I have like no gold gain though, but that's we want upgrades. People upgrades. It's a lot of ore to upgrade. It's like 40 ore per thing to upgrade right now.
Oh damn! Thank you for spending all of your ore.
Yeah.
It's got us a bronze key.
Nice. I've got 3 of each right now, so.
Oh, you
should
buy a
help us out
lot
to
of those
start.
every level. I didn't realize how many of those you were purchasing.
Oh yeah, I get a good. I was shrine up top. I get a bunch because like the silver and gold ones you usually don't find many, and then when you get chests, you just kind of need them. Like that one run when we had like 4 silver
Silvers.
chests, and that was
Yeah.
it. Not the order I wanted to go in. Is it this way?
Found a thing.
Yes, it is.
Rapier
Okay.
of Retaliation. 5% evasion. You begin evading attack. When evading an attack, you gain a 25% damage buff for 3 seconds. I can't speak. I'm already brain dead from all this.
I think I'm gonna call this my last run
Yeah,
because I do have to work in the morning, so a little bit of sleep would be good.
I have much more art to do, and I don't think I'm done with that. So
More
much
model
more.
work?
Yeah, I want to get the quizzes / chasas on my night going, because like you hardly ever will see her legs because of the nature of VTubing, but I'd like to at least have them there.
It's like mine. I have legs. You don't see them, but I got them. Oh, hey, Apothecary Flask. Plus 1
Unstable
charge.
flask.
I have 6 potion charges.
Wow.
Because I give us the +2
Yeah.
as well. But having 6... Oh, there's a shop down here. I have no gold for the shop.
Found the potion refill thing, so feel free to spam your potions for fun.
Yeah! I got so many of them. Okay, there's also a crafting recipe down here too.
Oh
It
dang.
looks like the broadsword.
Oh, that would be
Stiletto.
nice.
It's 10% armor ignore.
Found
Still good.
another deeply schizo-pilled world in the VRC community labs. Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
What does that mean?
Oh. Bless me. Oh. Schizo-pilled. I'm interested.
Same.
I'm interested, but also frightened.
I have
there is
so
a
much
chest down
regeneration.
here.
Been searching for weird and uncomfortable worlds. Why?
That is the way
Why-
to go. I like
Why
it.
is this the way you spend your time, Fab?
Fab, that's a great way to spend your time.
Sandals of swiftness. Alright.
There's a single diamond up there still. I need a little bit of that because I have no gold. Buying items is gonna be very hard because I can't get.
Book of Enlightenment.
What?
Spike whale. I would have bought the vendor coin, but I don't have enough money, and I'm not going to get it in this level, so... I'm going to run down here and
I
grab
can't even
this.
afford anything. I have 277 gold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't get anything. Is there anything good in here? Oh, there's a ring of health and a lesser sphere. That's unfortunate. No, you disconnected.
Are you... What?
Something's up.
Something's up. That's really frustrating. Because that's burning my gold whenever that happens.
Yeah.
It's one of the Dome of
Sounds like
Eyes
you-
nice
I
phrases in
don't
red
think
text
you
like
dropped.
try to forget or it isn't a dream. Oh, that is uncomfortable. That's a very
That-
uncomfortable.
Huh. Yeah.
I can just sit here and spin to win because it doesn't cost me anything. Cool.
Try to find a drop off.
Alright, well. Naturally, you're adding it to your favorites, of course.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yep.
Where is the drop off? Yeah, that's really upsetting that it's been disconnecting you a lot. I don't know
Yeah,
what's wrong.
I don't know. I've actually.
I don't know.
It's
If it might be a game issue, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. It could be just general instability on my computer's part. It could be the fact that I'm running on a router that's super old and I need to replace it, and I can't until some other stuff comes through. Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
were, you know what? That's still some money.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't want to leave. I want to die. I need to go out a champion. Oh wait, I was exploding with arrows. Just kill him. Okay.
Good job.
You next. Okay, and kill him. All right, and kill him too. Hey, murder me. Thank you.
Wow, that is.
Damn it.
You're having some bad luck with your bad luck there.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Well.
Oh.
This is a fun little stream here. I think I'm gonna call it as well. We're about at the 3-hour mark, and it's been a decent evening. This will give me some time to keep working in the background on some other stuff that I got going on, and some of the things that I want to unveil when we hit the 200 follower mark, which we're already getting close to. So
I believe
glad.
you.
I'm glad that I'm getting that done. What's that? You're eating me?
You know what? Yeah. We'll go with that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit more animation to a VC face model over the VTube Studio. Holy cow!
It's great. I gotta make a few tweaks to it.
Yeah. I know that also, like, by default, VC face isn't nearly as animated as I have it, but I've got mine tuned because I am so bouncy. But that's why, like, you end up with scenes like this.
Oh. I mean, yeah, it was...
Yeah, scenes like this.
Yeah, you know, it was good. We can do this again next week.
We
This
should.
game, some other game, we do again.
We do game. We do game next Thursday.
We do game. Yes,
do
indeed.
game we do 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We will see you next Thursday on game doing.
Can we? Yeah, you know what? Thursday night's just called game doing night. Oh yes, I like game doing.
Oh god.
That's,
Earlier today I thought of the word think rock as a simulacrum for computer, and like game doing think rock. Think rock game doer.
Can cars be called speed rock?
What was it? Smart cars were think rock go. Okay,
Oh,
okay,
yes.
I am dying here. I'm gonna do a raid over to Koi. We'll pass you folks over there since he's also still streaming as far as I know. And
He still is, yes.
all right,
Also
good.
Listening over to Koi.
Koi, are we doing Green Glow Dog and Banana Man?
Oh yeah. Beautiful. Thanks everybody for stopping by.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to fucking go over here to do that because my Streamlabs is calling me dumb. There we go.
Okay. So I hope you enjoyed that one. I will see you folks all again tomorrow. Again, same time, 9 p.m. Mountain Standard, and we'll see if we're doing something with Koi and friends, or if it's going to be some more variety gaming. But we'll figure it out.
Now that I got my model, I'll actually stream probably. Be
Oh
great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll have to get this figured out.
My schedule is on a fucking spectrum, so there is no schedule.
Oh no. All right,
Yeah,
folks.
it'd
We'll
be like
see you
that.
all soon, and have a good one.
Remember to hit end stream, by the way.
I still need to here.
That's the first time I've